Wherever you're watching the major prophet of God, I am here to make one thing straight. Because it has occurred to me all this while when people are coming from different angles to begin to give what's called the negative prophecies about Simon Ekpa. Major prophet is here to warn every prophet in the land, every pastor in the land, every man of God in the land to be careful. There are people you don't give prophecy to. Major prophet, you cannot give prophecy to me because I am the prophecy myself, because of Jesus Christ that is in my body, in my spirit, in my soul, to do the great things of the Lord. I want to use this medium to make a little explanation. When the Lord showed me about Simon Ekpa, I was the first man of God that scrutinized him. I scrutinized him. I went in the realm of the spirit to search out who this man Simon Ekpa was, and the Lord showed me that Simon Ekpa is possessed with the spirit of freedom, that anybody fighting him is wasting his time, that I should not go into what's called to attack him or to stop him or to quench him, because when it comes to the things of the spirit, whatever does not work well, we will first of all test it with spiritual power. When we test you with spiritual power and we see that you are standing firm, we will give you your own position, that you have to be there. I know it's quite unfortunate that Nigeria do not understand what they have, and because they don't understand what they have, that is why they are wallowing away and toiling in what's called the stream of no control. So I have over the week, and I've seen where somebody is talking about Simon Ekpa, this, that. Be careful. Simon Ekpa is, if you want to test Simon Ekpa in iPhone, Simon Ekpa is 100 Pro Max.
Prophet David Elijah has released a powerful prophetic message saying that Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, is possessed with the spirit of freedom, and that anybody fighting him is wasting his time. Prophet David Elijah revealed that Simon Ekpa's mission is divinely ordained by God Almighty, emphasizing that Simon Ekpa possesses a spirit of freedom, specifically for Biafra's liberation. According to him, the Biafran cause has reached a critical, irreversible stage, and he urges Nigerian authorities to engage in dialogue regarding a peaceful path forward for Biafra, that instead of sending young soldiers to the southeast to go and die, he should rather have a dialogue with Simon Ekpa and give Biafrans what they want, which is an independence. Prophet David Elijah also claims that the Biafran struggle is spiritually significant, advising caution among other prophets when addressing Biafra and Simon Ekpa. His message reinforces the idea that certain struggles transit the physical realm and must be respected in a spiritual sense. He cautioned other religious leaders, advising against giving negative or speculative prophecies about him. He suggests that Simon Ekpa's mission is divinely ordained, emphasizing that Simon Ekpa possesses a spirit of freedom, specifically for Biafra's liberation. He warns that any false or misguided prophecy about Simon Ekpa could have spiritual consequences. Prophet David Elijah, a man who is no stranger to bold declarations, came out with a prophecy that left people talking. He didn't just say Simon Ekpa is special. He declared that Simon Ekpa is possessed by a unique divine spirit. According to him, it is a spirit of freedom. Now, what does that even mean? It is like Simon Ekpa has been specially chosen by God for a specific mission, one that is tied to the liberation of Biafra. Prophet David Elijah didn't stop there. He warned anyone who is trying to fight Simon Ekpa that they are wasting their time. Why? Because in his words, this is a divine mission and you can't fight what God has ordained. Simon Ekpa, for those who might not know, is a prominent figure in the Biafra independence movement. To his supporters, he is a freedom fighter, a leader, and a voice for the people. To his critic, he is a controversial figure, sometimes even polarizing. But let's focus on what Prophet David Elijah said, because his words gives us a new lens through which to view Simon Ekpa. Prophet David Elijah claimed that he saw Simon Ekpa's mission in the spiritual realm. Yes, you heard that right, in the spiritual realm. Prophet David Elijah said he literally entered the spirit world to investigate Simon Ekpa. And what did he find? He found a man who is not just doing this for the sake of it. Simon Ekpa, according to the prophet, is spiritually charged and divinely programmed. It is like he's carrying a special assignment that only he can fulfill. Prophet David Elijah made it clear that Simon Ekpa isn't operating on a regular human level. He's not just a politician or an activist. He is something more, something bigger. And because of that, anyone who tries to stop him is going against forces far greater than themselves. Now let's talk about the Biafra struggle itself. This isn't a new issue. It has been around for decades, rooted in the southeast of Nigeria. The people of Biafra have long sought independence, a chance to govern themselves and create their own nation. But here is where Prophet Elijah's perspective is unique. He sees the Biafran struggle as more than just politics or history. To him, it is a spiritual battle. He described it as something that transcends the physical world. It is not just about land, resources, or governance. It is about destiny, about fulfilling a divine plan. Prophet David Elijah believes that the Biafran cause has reached a critical point, what he called a point of no return. In his view, there is no going back. The only path forward is to embrace the inevitable, which is Biafra independence. One of the most striking parts of Prophet Elijah's message was his warning. He didn't just direct it at the Nigerian government. He also addressed prophets, pastors, and other religious leaders. He told them to be careful when speaking about Simon Ekpa or the Biafran struggle. Why? Because according to him, this isn't something to take lightly. It is deeply spiritual, and speaking against it could have consequences. He used strong words, saying that anyone who gives a false or negative prophecy about Simon Ekpa might face spiritual backlash. Imagine that, a kind of divine mind your business warning. Prophet David Elijah urged religious leaders to stay out of matters they don't fully understand. He described the Biafran struggle as a spiritually designed mission, one that must be approached with respect. Now, this part made me chuckle a bit, but it is also quite telling. Prophet David Elijah compared Simon Ekpa to an iPhone, but not just any iPhone. He called him an iPhone 100 Pro Max Plus. If you are wondering what that means, let me break it down. The prophet was trying to say that Simon Ekpa is advanced, unique, and beyond comprehension. Just like how we marvel at the latest tech gadgets, Prophet David Elijah wanted people to understand that Simon Ekpa is not someone you can fully figure out. He is on a level that most people can't reach. It is an odd analogy, but it drives home the point. Simon Ekpa is not ordinary. Whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny that he is a force to be reckoned with. Now let's shift gears and talk about the Nigerian government for a moment. Prophet David Elijah had some advice for them too. He urged the Nigerian authorities to stop fighting the Biafra movement with force. He criticized the government for sending young soldiers to the southeast, saying it is a waste of lives. Instead, he called for a dialogue, a peaceful negotiation about Biafra's future. Prophet Elijah believes that the Nigerian government is missing the point. In his eyes, this isn't a struggle they can win through military action or suppression. It is bigger than that. He urged them to sit down with Biafran leaders, including Simon Ekpa, and discuss a peaceful path forward, because as he sees it, the train has already left the station, and the best thing to do now is to avoid unnecessary conflict. Prophet David Elijah didn't just issue warnings. He also talked about the role of prophecy in struggles like this. He explained that prophecy isn't just about predicting the future. It is about understanding the spiritual forces at work and guiding people accordingly. He sees himself as a major prophet, someone who has been given the gift of insight into spiritual matters. He used his platform to remind everyone, religious leaders, political figures, and ordinary people alike, that the Biafran struggle is not just a human endeavor. It is something that is being divinely orchestrated, and because of that, it demands respect. So where does this leave us? Prophet David Elijah's words paint a picture of a future where Biafra's independence is not just possible but inevitable. He believes it is only a matter of time before the declaration of an independent Biafra becomes a reality. And when that happens, he sees Simon Ekpa as one of the key figures leading the charge. For the Nigerian government, the message is clear. It is time to rethink their approach. Force and suppression won't work. Dialogue and negotiation are the only viable path forward. For religious leaders, the message is equally clear. Tread carefully. This is not a time for reckless prophecies or negative declarations. If you have stayed with me this long, thank you. This story is as layered as it is fascinating. At its core, it is about a man, Simon Ekpa, who is being thrust into a role that some believe is divinely ordained. It is about a movement, the Biafran struggle, that is as spiritual as it is political. And it is about a prophecy that challenges us to think beyond what we see and consider the possibility of forces greater than ourselves at work. Whether you believe in prophecy or not, one thing is certain. Simon Ekpa and the Biafran cause are shaping conversations, stirring emotions, and sparking debates. This story isn't just about the past or the present. It is about the future of a people, a region, and perhaps even a nation. The Biafra independence is very close, and it shall be declared very soon. I will play the video for you guys to watch and see for yourself.
Wherever you're watching the major prophet of God, I am here to make one thing straight. Because it has occurred to me all this while when people are coming from different angles to begin to give what's called the negative prophecies about Simon Ekpa. Major prophet is here to warn every prophet in the land, every pastor in the land, every man of God in the land to be careful. There are people you don't give prophecy to. Major prophet, you cannot give prophecy to me because I am the prophecy myself, because of Jesus Christ that is in my body, in my spirit, in my soul. to do the great things of the Lord. I want to use this medium to make a little explanation. When the Lord showed me about Simon Ekpa, I was the first man of God that stood him. I stood to him. I went in the realm of the spirit to search out who this man Simon Ekpa was, and the Lord showed me that Simon Ekpa is possessed with the spirit of freedom, that anybody fighting him is wasting his time, that I should not go into what's called to attack him or to stop him or to quench him, because when it comes to the things of the spirit, whatever does not work well, we will first of all test it with spiritual power. When we test you with spiritual power and we see that you are standing firm, we will give you your own position, that you have to be there. I know it's quite unfortunate that Nigeria do not understand what they have, and because they don't understand what they have, that is why they are wallowing away and toiling in what's called the stream of no control. So I have over the week, and I've seen where somebody is talking about Simon Ekpa, this, that. Be careful. Simon Ekpa is, if you want to test Simon Ekpa in iPhone, Simon Ekpa is 100 Pro Max. Multiple 100 Pro Max plus 100 iPhone 100 Pro Max plus. That is who the Simon Ekpa is. Simon Ekpa is a man you don't understand. You cannot know him all. Every man on the face of the earth has the consideration that God has made that man to come and exist on the face of the earth. He's for assignment, and the assignment is for his people, the people of Biafra. And so whoever you are that is trying to give a message, be careful, because whatever you try to measure to Simon Ekpa may backfire you, because the man has already been spiritually neutralized and spiritually organized and spiritually configured to be who he is. Be careful. Major prophet of God, I am a accurate prophecy. When I come to accurate prophecy, I come to give it the way they are. And so the Lord said, warn all the prophet in the land, especially prophet in Nigeria, to be careful with the kind of prophecy they're bringing to the struggle of Biafra. Because the struggle of Biafra is a spiritual thing. It's not a thing on the periphery. It's not a thing on the physical realm. So when you come out, you have eaten or you have drank water, and you come out and begin to dream what's called a malaria dream. Be careful. Biafra struggle is not a casual struggle that you can come out and dream what's called malaria dreaming, and you come out and begin to give prophecy, about to say things about Simon Ekpa. The same way I want all of you about Master of the can leave these things to the things of the spirit, because these things are spiritually designed. They are not things that are carnal, that you can carnally begin to do anyhow you want. Be very careful. Major prophet of God, I am not here to fight anybody. I am not here to be against anybody, but I'm here to make the record straight, because major prophet of God cannot be in the house and somebody come out and begin to say necessary, unnecessary things. The things about Biafran struggle has gone beyond what's called the Rubicon. And what's called a Rubicon is what's called a point of no return. And what needed now is Nigeria to come to a compromise. Whether they like it or not, they need to come to a compromise to call the people and also discuss the best way of exit. Because what I'm seeing what's called December 2nd, and I'm seeing the realm of the spirit where it's going to be what's called declaration of Biafra, and the people should be very careful, and also be careful on the kind of prophecies or the kind of messages they bring, because whatever you say today shall be held against you tomorrow. Be very careful, because major prophet of God, I have already cautioned myself to be spiritually guided, not to truth on the areas God has not called me to truth. So, cutting the long story short, every one of you, wherever you are in the land of Nigeria, or the land of Biafra, be careful the kind of message you bring to people of Biafra and the struggle of Biafra. Don't give a message by your brain, or give a message by your thought, or give a message by your heart desire, because when you give those messages, that's what's called a spiritual backfire. Don't allow spiritual backfire to backfire you, because this was called fizzle out. This was called spiritual pestilence, and this was called spiritual bamboozlement. Be very careful. The people of Biafra and the people about the struggle of Biafra is a spiritual matter. The spiritual matter. All my prayer and all I've been doing is that Nigeria should come to understand and know that this matter is not a matter of what's called hand the people, or what's called a matter of anyhow, but a matter that they need to sit down and draft the whole drafting and see what's called the best way forward. The man called Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is not a man you come out and begin to give anyhow prophecy. Be careful. Be careful. All the pastors, be warned. All the prophets, be warned. All the men of God, be warned. And be careful. Major prophet of God will always say what I need to say, because in the realm of the spirit, when I go to what's called the spiritual realm, I come to begin to digest what's called the realms of the spirit, and however God has shown anything to major prophet of God. Remember, I am not here for what's called a men pleaser. I am here to what's called the things of the spirit, because I know that things of the spirit will always control the physical. Be careful, whoever you are. Stop giving the people of Biafra theme. Stop giving the people of Biafra prayers. Stop giving the people of Biafra prophecy. Be careful, because the people of Biafra does not need any prophet. Whether you like someone ever or you don't like him, you're liking him or you don't like him does not count at this point, because the man has crossed what's called Rubicon. He has entered what's called spiritual possession to struggle and also get his people out of what's called Nigeria. This is something given to him, and I cannot begin to struggle with him. All I need is to just pray and let God, and whatever wants to happen to the glory of God, let it happen. Major prophet, I was the first person to scrutinize him. I have scrutinized him. I scrutinized Simon Ekpa, and I found out that he is not coming on the periphery of humans. He's coming on the spiritual periphery. And that is why you must give way when a man is fully possessed for a particular assignment. That man is not for any other mission, but what's called assignment to make sure that the people of Biafra are liberated, and also what's it called people of Biafra to be set free. And this is why major prophet of God, whether I like him or I don't like him, does not count. What counts is what is the configuration. And when you look about what's called configuration, you begin to talk about iPhone 100 Pro Max Plus, which means you don't understand him and you cannot know him, his doings and everything are spiritually oriented. You have to be very careful with your prophecies. Be careful. Major prophet of God cannot be in the land and let the people walk in darkness. Be careful, whoever you are, any man of God anywhere, in Nigeria, in Africa, in all over the world. Be careful the prophecies you give about what's called a struggle of Biafra. I am the major prophet of God. I am the prophet that give prophecy about Donald Trump to win election, and it come to pass. I'm the prophet that saw when they want to assassinate Donald Trump, and it come to pass. I am the prophet that see things before they happen. When it was Nigerian election, I speak in favor of Nigeria, who will win the election. I told you Peter Obi will be third position, and what's called Tinubu will be the one to announce as president. So be careful when it comes to what's called the spiritual things. You don't come out and begin to give the people of Biafra prophecies. Be careful the prophecies you give, because these are the things that will work against you in the days of Biafra. Be very, very careful. There are people you don't talk to because they are spiritually designed and oriented and programmed. This is a warning. This is a warning to all the prophets and all the pastors and all the churches. Be careful about the prophecies you give about Simon Ekpa. That man is spiritually designed. He's spiritually designed. I wish everybody will understand and see what I'm seeing. It's spiritually designed and fully possessed with what's called the spirit of freedom for the people of Biafra. This is the message from the major prophet of God. I am not here to compromise issues. I am here to set the record straight, because when it comes to the things of the spirit, we'll always stand on the spiritual stand. This is the prophecy, and let God be God and let man be man.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.